Hold on tight, folks, because we're diving headfirst into a whirlwind of sports news. Bologna's season is hanging by a thread after a crushing 2-0 defeat to Juventus. But the frustration is real. Vincenzo Italiano is questioning the lack of preparation time after their Europa League battle with Aston Villa. They were swept aside 4-0 by Aston Villa, and then suffered a 7-1 aggregate loss, leaving Italiano wondering how they can possibly compete when they barely have time to train. Can Bologna salvage anything from this season, or is it all but over? We'll break it all down, so stick around.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, Bayern Munich are celebrating another Bundesliga title. Harry Kane, the league's top scorer with 32 goals, sealed the deal with a late strike against Stuttgart, securing a record-extending 35th German championship for the club. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Stuttgart's Chris Führich opened the scoring, and there were even reports of clashes between fans before the match. With the Champions League and German Cup finals on the horizon, can Bayern complete a historic treble? Let's get into the details. Now, let's head over to the Premier League, where Nottingham Forest are breathing a sigh of relief after a dominant 4-1 victory over Burnley. Morgan Gibbs-White stole the show with a stunning 15-minute hat-trick, turning a deficit into a decisive lead. It was an emotional day for Forest, as Elliot Anderson returned to the squad after the tragic loss of his mother. But for Burnley, this defeat feels like another nail in their relegation coffin. Can they mount a comeback? Or is their Premier League journey coming to an end? And finally, Juventus are surging to the top. Bologna's facing a crisis. David and Thuram are making headlines, and Federico Bernardeschi is sidelined. It's a chaotic scene in Serie A. We've got all the latest updates and analysis, so you won't want to miss a single moment. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the biggest sports stories. Let's go. Bologna coach Vincenzo Italiano has conceded his team's season is effectively over following a 2-0 defeat to Juventus, citing a punishing schedule and a lack of preparation time. The loss comes just days after a 4-0 thrashing by Aston Villa in the Europa League quarterfinals, completing a 7-1 aggregate defeat. Italiano emphasized the disparity in preparation, noting Juventus had a full week to prepare while Bologna arrived back in Italy on Friday evening after their European commitments. The team conceded an early goal to Jonathan David and struggled to find their rhythm, with Khephren Thuram adding a second for Juventus. Bologna also suffered a blow with a thigh injury to Federico Bernardeschi, forcing them to finish the game with 10 men. Italiano took responsibility for Bernardeschi's injury, explaining he brought the player on to acknowledge the Juventus fans' applause. He anticipates Bernardeschi will miss the remainder of the season. Despite the disappointment, Italiano acknowledged Bologna exceeded their initial seasonal objectives, reaching April while still in contention for significant achievements. However, with a challenging run-in including matches against Roma, Cagliari, Napoli, Atalanta, and Inter, the focus now shifts to securing 8th place and experimenting with tactics and players. Italiano praised Aston Villa, believing they are capable of winning the Europa League, and expressed frustration at the inability to adequately prepare for matches due to the congested fixture list. Bayern Munich has clinched its record-extending 35th Bundesliga title, securing an unassailable 15-point lead over Borussia Dortmund with 4 rounds of the German league remaining. The victory came Sunday with a 4-2 win over Stuttgart, highlighted by a league-leading 32nd goal from Harry Kane, who entered as a second-half substitute. Despite an early goal from Stuttgart's Chris Führich, Bayern responded with a rapid 3-goal burst from Rafael Guerreiro, Nicolas Jackson, and Alphonso Davies. Bayern's dominant scoring record continues, reaching 109 goals for the season, surpassing the previous record of 101 set in 1971-72. The team now aims for a potential treble, with a German Cup semi-final against Bayer Leverkusen on Wednesday and a Champions League semi-final tie against Paris Saint-Germain looming. The atmosphere at the match was subdued, reportedly due to clashes between fans before kickoff. Coach Vincent Kompany rotated his squad, with key players like Manuel Neuer and Kane on the bench. Meanwhile, Heidenheim's hopes of avoiding relegation suffered a setback with a 2-1 defeat to Freiburg, leaving them 7 points from safety. Nadim Amiri's late penalty secured a 1-1 draw for Mainz against Mönchengladbach, further complicating the relegation battle. Nottingham Forest secured a vital 4-1 victory over Burnley, fueled by a stunning 15-minute hat-trick from Morgan Gibbs-White, significantly boosting their Premier League survival hopes. The match at the City Ground saw a dramatic shift in momentum after a lackluster first half, where Burnley took the lead just before halftime through Zion Fleming. Forest, returning from Europa League action, initially struggled to break down the Clarets' defense. However, Gibbs-White's second-half heroics, his first career treble, alongside a late goal from Igor Jesus, propelled Forest 5 points clear of the relegation zone, with Tottenham currently in 18th place. The win marks a significant blow to Burnley's already fading relegation hopes, having secured only one win since October 26th, potentially sealing their fate next weekend. The match also held emotional weight, with Elliot Anderson making his return to the Forest lineup following the recent passing of his mother, receiving a heartfelt tribute from the City Ground crowd. A poor defensive header from Nikola Milankovic led to Fleming's opener, but a halftime substitution of Igor Jesus injected much-needed energy into Forest's attack. Despite an initial missed opportunity, Gibbs-White quickly found his form, equalizing in the 63rd minute, followed by goals in the 69th and 76th minutes to complete his hat-trick and secure a dominant win for Nottingham Forest. In a dramatic turn of events in Serie A, Juventus has surged to the top of the league standings following a decisive victory, while Bologna suffered a significant setback. The Bianconeri's ascent is fueled by stellar performances from key players, notably David and Thuram, whose contributions are increasingly vital as the season reaches its climax. Juventus's strong form has significantly boosted their chances of securing a coveted spot in the Champions League for the next season. However, the victory wasn't without cost. Reports indicate that Berna sustained an injury during the match, raising concerns about his availability for upcoming fixtures. Details regarding the severity of Berna's injury are still emerging, but the club is expected to provide a full update shortly. This latest development adds another layer of complexity to Juventus's title challenge as they navigate a demanding schedule. Meanwhile, Bologna's defeat represents a blow to their own European aspirations, leaving them with a challenging path to qualification. The league table is now intensely competitive, with several teams vying for Champions League places, promising a thrilling finish to the Serie A season.